Hey, it's me, and today I have another compilation video for you guys. Today's compilation is all about Nafalophagus. I have gone through and hunted down any project that I can find that is Nahfalogian. I think this will be a kind of a fun way to explore Nahfalogian lore. I hope you guys like Nafalophagus. If you don't know what Nafalophagus is, this video will definitely very quickly explain, and probably multiple times. I'm gonna let you just dive into that. So let's get into Nafalophagus. At first I was thinking I was going to customize something really cool and unique, you know, like a underwear. I don't know. But then I thought I've never used these markers before, so I just want to, you know, get a feel for them. So I literally sketched out the first thing that came to mind. I started sketching so quickly, I'm not even sure my brain fully processed what I was doing. What's my hand doing? I don't know. In my mind, this was just a test run. I'm just messing around here. What am I doing? I'm going in with the color. So I thought that these were just like Poscas. So I was creating somewhat of a blocky kind of cartoon style, which is what I end up doing with Poscas most of the time. But then while I was painting this little star, I noticed that they actually do kind of blend thanks to the flexible brush tip, which is actually very different from the one that's on the Posca. So I started kind of, you know, trying that out, messing around with the blending a little bit. Also, I wanted to test out as many colors as I could. So I end up making some very interesting color choices. What have I done? It looks like a half digested globe. Yes. Let me attempt to explain what exactly I'm drawing here. First, I have to figure it out myself. You know, you can tell by the evolution of this mysterious earthy orb that I have no clue what I'm doing. This drawing started as lollipops and popsicles. Very simple. But then I thought, you know, how are they standing up on their own? Am I gonna draw another mysteriously balanced popsicle? No! I decided that this is gonna be a close-up of the top of a cake. So then they turned into like little cake toppers. I could lie and say, yeah, this is going perfectly and it's working just how I wanted. I'm really doing a good job, but I think it's pretty obvious. I was struggling a lot. Like a lot. These markers definitely worked differently than I expected. When I was swatching them, they seemed pretty opaque, but once I started using them, I realized they are not. Trying to layer a lighter color on top of a darker color, no worky. The lighter the color, the more transparent they are. It was very difficult to get a clean color on top of another color. They kind of mixed. Oh no. Even if you wait for it to dry and add another layer, it does the same thing again. So this was not really going according to plan. Not that I really even had a plan, but if I did have a plan, it would not be this. I am still just trying to get to know this supply and see what it does. But I'm also aware that I've spent enough time on this where I need to try to get this drawing where it looks decent. I just want to make it look decent and then call it done, and then I can move on to the real artwork. The reason I love using paint pens is they're just easy to use. You can get clean details, crisp lines, easy layering, but I actually found these pens difficult to use. They didn't feel like Poscas at all, really. In fact, they felt a lot more like watercolor, but dry. I don't get it. I don't know, but I just wanted to go with it. So I just kind of stopped comparing them to Poscas at all and just tried to use them as they are. I want to love you for you, and not because you're similar to Posca. Because honestly, sweetie, I don't think you really compare. Things are getting quite weird in this drawing. I'm not using any sort of reference, obviously. What am I doing? My colors have all gone completely whack, obviously. I kind of hate it, but I'm continuing to sink more and more time into it, which is making me think that I really need to salvage this. This is going to be a big part of the video now. I'm going to really have to hustle when I get to the real artwork. Maybe it's because they're just floating here with no background. I'm going to add a nice little setting. It'll be good for them. So I started working on creating the top of the cake. I'm attempting to draw frosting here with a very dried out gray marker that doesn't really work. It looks more like snow, so it's looking very much like a winter scene from a candy land on planet Nafalophagus. Tell me you know all about planet what did I say? Nafalophagus? Yeah, you know, it's that planet where giant chaotic orbs of candy, rainbows, and stars grow out of the ground. Some of them wearing bow ties, some of them dripping. Also, it snows. I'm still under the impression that I'm making a cake. This is cake. So I went ahead and put sprinkles on the cake. That's what I thought I was doing. In reality, I was adding space rocks on Nafalophagus. I guess I'll do the sprinkle song though, still. Maybe some sort of alien remix. Yeah, that was weird. Okay, so this does not look how I was envisioning in any way at all. But some strange part of me, the really strange part of me, actually liked this. I'm almost embarrassed to say, but I think I really just need to take it to the next level. Go crazy. I'm several hours in at this point, and it's becoming clear that I've chosen this. The real artwork that I've been waiting to do doesn't exist. This is the real artwork. Are you disappointed? Me too. I might as well make it good, because it's clear that this is all I'm gonna have time for. So I'm gonna try to do something cool for the background and just hope and pray that this all ends up okay and we can get out of this nightmare eventually. This is where it becomes very clear that these markers are not great for large areas. I don't know if I got a bad batch or something, but a lot of them were very dry to the point where I could not even really get the color to flow. I mean, I shook them up, I gave them a rest to see if that helps. I did all of it. They were just barely working just enough for me to lay down a very patchy color. It was mainly the lighter colors. It was very similar to working with like a 5-year-old Crayola marker that you dug out of the bottom of your junk drawer, which is somewhat disappointing considering these markers are $300. I feel like it's either that I got a bad batch or it's just me. Maybe I have toxic fingers. Obviously, Chloe was doing just fine with these. She didn't seem to be having any problem.
Look at that juicy pen.
Really? But of course I'm here just struggling my eyes out. Why am I having problems? I'm out here making art that literally makes no sense. Creating this background was a lot of layering and blending because I was combining like 5 different pens that had no ink in them. And then the top was like very dark colors that were really hard to blend together. So I spent several hours just on this. Oh, that's so embarrassing. You know, I should probably start playing it cool and not telling you that these things take so long. You know, just be like, no, I barely even took any time at all. Just whipped it up real quick. I wasn't even trying. Definitely was not like sweating bullets trying to make something good. I just pooped this out basically. But no, that's not the truth. This is what my effort looks like. You know what? This was my first time using these. I'm gonna chalk it up to inexperience. I am gonna continue to try to use them and see if I can get better, and maybe I just need to get used to them. Clearly, I'm going for some sort of galaxy look here since we have the stars and weird planety things. It all looks very alien anyway, so why not? I will say I really did like the precision of the brush tip, because sometimes the chunkiness of the Posca tip, you know, it just doesn't give you that delicate touch that you want. Once I finished with the background, I was left with a giant mess just everywhere. So I went through and tried to refine everything a little bit more. Even though I'm completely lost and I have no clue what I'm drawing at this point, I kind of just want to make it look like I do know what I'm drawing. And somehow, after hours of fumbling my way through this art, I have made something kind of cool, right?
No.
I don't know, maybe I've been staring at this for too long. Finally, I went back and added a bunch of stars to the galaxy, which is the best part of making the galaxy, in my opinion. I did use the white Karen markers for this, which actually did surprisingly well. Definitely still didn't turn out a super strong white, but I was fine with that. I did bring out my Posca for the extra bright highlights where I really want the white to pop. Now, I'm acting like this is just the strangest drawing ever because I really feel that it is, but I showed Jordan a picture of it while I was editing, and I asked him, "What is this?" He said, without hesitation,
"It's Candyland."
And I'm like, okay, that's simple, huh? You just see it, you know exactly what that is. He didn't seem the least bit confused about it. Finally, I did sign the thing. Shocking that I was willing to put my name on this. This is the finished artwork. To me, this does look very confusing. Sincerely, I feel dumb for admitting it, but I actually kind of like this. It's very different, but it's kind of cool. I wanted to bring in some little characters, so I started sketching in some aliens. But these aliens are not it.
No, like this.
So I started a new spread. I'm trying to think outside of the box a little bit. We always see aliens like this and like this, or even, yeah, like that. Who came up with this idea of what an alien looks like? Nobody's ever seen one. For my aliens, I decided to give them these little bean bodies and then add different elements to them to create completely unique creatures. Do they look kind of like the blobs?
Yeah.
But they are not, okay? They're bean body aliens. They're not the blobs. And at this point, I started trying some different colors on them to really go wild. This one's some sort of striped dinosaur with an eye problem. And you see how I brought in those black dots? This is about the rug. Moving right along, this one's a baby. We got a monkey tail, cat ears, plus that little stereotypical alien doohickey on his head. Next, we got, okay, this one's definitely a bunny. I kind of wanted to create characters that didn't too strongly resemble an earthly animal, but I kind of let this one slide because I really liked it. That fuzzy coat thing, she's got style. Then there's this one, which is kind of like a butterfly with bare ears. This one is just a little bit basic.
That's okay.
Then, this hyper little girl. She's kind of like the alien woodland creature. She's got antlers and a skunk tail. Finally, this one has to be my least favorite. You weren't expecting that, were you? Clearly a dog with a unicorn horn. Ugh. I tried changing the ears to make it a little less dog-like. I decided to leave it like this for now. I may or may not change it later. I will. All right, here are all 6 of them. Woo! Honestly, I'm obsessed. I do feel like I need to name them. I don't want to be saying like, oh, now I'm painting the little baby cat-eared monkey tail bean alien. Let's just give them names. First, Tom. I don't know why that's funny. Next, let me come up with something more alienish. Zuzu. Zuzu. Then there's Tutu. Hey, that kind of works actually because the fur is like a neck tutu. And then it's Mika. There's Dot C and Boops. Not poops, boops. I printed out the sketches of my aliens for reference, and here's some paint. I'm starting with a nice white base for each of my colors. Then I'm adding matte medium, just a splash to help my paint go a little further and also thin it out a little bit. And I finally come to the color. Oh yes.
Luscious, luscious color.
I've got a nice pink, a beautiful purple. Wow, look at that. Blue, and some other guys. They're all here. And here is my color scheme. It's not rainbow. There's no yellow. Just putting that out there. I'm using my character drawings as a guide and then doing a nice sketch. And here is the paint. Goodness gracious. Finally! I'm gonna start painting down here with Mika and Tutu. Oh my gosh, these names. Here's a very unsatisfying shot of me painting with white. Oh, this is not at all what I hoped it would be. And laying down the color for Tutu. Gosh. Am I gonna get used to these names? Very glad I did a white base coat on this because even with that, I still needed several coats of color. Moving up to Boops, who is clearly holding on to this planet. This is either a very small planet or a very massive boop. And here we are. That is more satisfying. Yes, that's more like it. I'm doing this whole space thing, okay? So I went for a nice deep galaxy blue for the background. And look at that, I've already reverted to my tiny brush. I'm sorry, okay? Do I need to apologize for the size of the brush I use? No, but I actually am sorry about my face's existence in and out of the frame. I just don't have like a go-to camera setup for this. This was the best result that I could manage, okay? I struggled to get here. And speaking of struggle, things are starting to get chaotic around here, but the base layer of the painting is just about done. You may be wondering, why did I take the trouble of designing 6 very detailed characters to just use 3 of them? Where Tom at? Don't worry about Tom. Okay, Tom is not dead. And there will be plenty of opportunities on other parts of the machine to bring them all together. This is a big machine. This is just one part of it. Painting in the basic shapes was like, okay, whatever, cool, this seems pretty easy. But after a couple hours, I'm like, oh, wait, this kind of sucks. What am I doing here? Oh, nothing, just making a giant mess. My back started hurting from hunching over on the floor, and the angle I was having to work at was getting really uncomfortable. Here I am with that realization, pain creeping in. That's okay, we're fine. I switched to working on the background just to do something easier for a second, whipping up a nice little galaxy. I've done this so many times before, so... Oh, and that paint is dripping. It's dripping! No! Tried to save it, but kind of made a mess of it, so I'll have to deal with that situation later. Now, with the background well in hand, somewhat, I'm gonna go back to the characters. The thing that made this very frustrating frustrating was that I just kept making mistakes. The angle that I had to hold my hand was very awkward. Look at that. And I just did not have very good control. So my lines kept getting really wobbly or just being completely off. Normally I can outline a little better than that. So then I would just have to go back and constantly fix things. I'm completely aware that my head is getting in the way. And with each mistake I went to go fix, I made another mistake that then needed to be fixed. Oh, those eyes. I'm drowning here. I'm drowning. So trust me when I say this was a struggle. And oh, wait, shoot. Tutu, I did you wrong here. Tutu is supposed to have 2 different colored ears. So that needs to be fixed. Tutu's ears pink. That is not okay. Finally, yes. Now we are getting somewhere with this. The original design of Tutu does not include eyebrows. So I thought I'd add some, but no. I see why I went with no eyebrows. As I'm waiting for this layer of paint to dry before doing the last little tweaks, I'm gonna move up to Boop. Is it Boop or Boops? Boop or Boops? Boops. It's Boops. You may notice the design has changed a little bit from the original sketch. I actually flipped the white and blue areas on him and traded the unicorn horn for a set of horns, starting to fill in some details of his mini planet, and then just like that, wham! It's done. Speaking of planets, let's talk about what planet all of these bean body aliens are from. And well, the answer is simple. They all come from none other than the planet Nafalophagus.
What?
Do you know it? If you weren't here for the creation of Nafalophagus, I'm giving you the side eye. No, it's okay. I'll link it below in case you want to see it, but basically, I kind of accidentally created this very strange looking scenery in one of my videos, and I named it Nafalophagus. And so, this is the return to Nafalophagus, where we meet some of the interesting inhabitants. Now, this planet that Boops is holding on to, that's not Nafalophagus. I don't think they would all fit. This is a mini planet that he has stumbled upon as they are currently on some space travels, I guess. Sure. Oh, so that's me laying on the floor. I was talking about Nafalophagus, not your persisting back pain, but okay, sure, we can change the topic. While I'm here, yes, I was experiencing back pain. My clothes are a mess. These were my favorite leggings. I'm sweating. Oh, the pain. But I have still one last step to complete this panel, which is removing all the tape from the trim. Oh, I lied. This is the last step. Applying a nice clear coat over the top. Finally, this panel is done. Woo! 1 down, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to go. Oh my gosh. Traveling to the other side of the machine. Oh my gosh, that's disgusting.
I hate cords.
I dream of a future where we can all live in a completely cordless society, never again becoming tangled, tripped, ripped. I believe we can find a solution. I mean, I know Bluetooth is a thing, but like connectivity issues are not fun either.
Are we done yet?
So I've already taken care of the prep work and the sketch for this panel thanks to my hard work last week. So I can just get right into it.
So excited.
Here we go. Touching the paint to the canvas, or not the canvas, the machine. Oh, am I already hitting a snag?
What's wrong?
So it turns out I hated the lighting and camera angle. I spent an obnoxiously long time trying to fix it and landed here, which is essentially the same camera angle and lighting as it was before. So that was a great use of time, buddy. Can we maybe get started now? I'm starting with blocking in Dotsie. If you don't know Dotsie, she was born last week. I can't believe you missed it. Also bringing in Zuzu. They're aliens, okay? So we gotta have like quirky names. Oh, but then there's Tom. So last week I created 6 original alien characters. I call them the Bean Body Aliens. I painted 3 of them on the panel that I did last week, and on this one I'm doing the remaining 3. And of course I'm beginning this painting just by blocking in all of my colors, just getting the paint on the canvas. Oh, not the canvas! Why do I keep wanting to call this a canvas? I don't even paint canvas. When was the last time I painted a canvas? Anyway, I'm just trying to get this whole area painted and rough in my image like so that with the second layer I can start refining and tweaking everything a little bit more. I've got Tom down here and he's in front of this planet. That's a planet. Is it Nafalophagus? We do know that Nafalophagus is a very colorful place, so it probably wouldn't be so orange. Oh, what's Nafalophagus? That's where the alien bean bodies live. That's where they're from. Are you still confused?
Yes.
I may try to actually paint Nafalophagus on a different panel of the machine. This is just going to be like a neighboring planet. They're just hanging out here for the day. Space travel, it's pretty common for the bean bodies. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Second coat, done. And coming in with the galaxy for the background, super easy. It's just a whip and a do. And this is where things got real rough last time. The outlining. I will say it was a little bit easier this time. Don't get me wrong, I still struggled. But I did get somewhat used to the extremely uncomfortable position that I was forced to paint in. Also, my accuracy very slightly improved after getting some practice. I'm painting in some detail on this planet. You know, it kind of looks like the sun. Is it the sun? Are the space bean bodies extraordinarily heat resistant? That's possible. We do know that it snows in parts of Nafalophagus, so maybe they wanted to take a nice warm vacation and hang out on the sun, and their bodies are built to handle the heat. Okay, this is not supposed to foreshadow their fiery death. This is a nice friendly scene to a friendly warm location that may or may not be a sun. Oh my gosh, I'm literally painting and blow drying the paint at the same time. Normally I'm able to switch back and forth between painting projects. While one is drying, I can just work on the other one. But for this, I had my camera kind of like set up and occupied in this specific spot. So I was really focusing solely on this, and I haven't been aware of how long it takes paint to dry in a long time. It takes forever. It's truly painful. And then I feel like something's missing here. Let's reference the sketch. Oh, Zuzu's tail. What the heck? How on earth? No. How on Nafalophagus could I forget that? Someone lock this woman up. So no big deal, I'm just adding the tail in. Also, I did notice Zuzu's little tummy patch. Originally, when I sketched this, I thought that it would have been completely covered by Tom's head. Looking at the placement now, I think you actually probably would be able to at least partially see that little tummy patch. I never ended up painting it in. Sorry, Zuzu. Tom is looking good though. Oh my gosh. Tom may be my favorite. I know a lot of you really loved Boops from last week. Why? Boops is the worst. Somebody pointed out last week that Tom kind of looks like a dragon fruit. Oh my gosh, yes, that's it. He totally does, and I'm loving it. Tom is truly amazing. Don't talk about Tom. Nobody say a word about Tom. Unless it's nice, then go ahead. So these two are about done. Notice Tom's expression. He seems a little taken aback. I mean, he always kind of looks like that, but today there is a legitimate reason for his distress, and it's about Dotsie, okay? Because she is out here being a little extra. The three of them, Tom, Zuzu, Dotsie, are out on this little excursion to the neighboring sun, and Dotsie sees a shooting star and decides to just go ahead and jump on, take a ride. So she's currently being hurled through the galaxy to Lord knows where, and this is just so typical. This is the kind of thing that Dotsie does. She's always finding some sort of trouble. She's a little bit hyper. She sees something shiny, and boom, next thing you know, she's hurled through space, and Tom is just like, oh no, how are we gonna get her back to Nafalophagus? And Zuzu's like, Zuzu's a baby, so not really grasping the gravity of the situation. Oh, or the lack of gravity.
Oh.
And just like that, this panel is finished. Wow, that was actually really fast compared to the first one. Am I getting better at this? I think I'm developing a skill for painting aliens on claw machines. Go ahead and put that on my resume. I'm gonna just peel off all the tape and apply a nice thick clear coat to protect my painting, and this panel is officially done. It's still in the exact same style as the first panel, but I mean, I like that this one has a little bit more of a story to it. It is a very simple story. I'm not gonna win any Academy Awards, but I like that there is a little bit more to it. Although I don't want to put the first panel down. It was good. I suffered for it, so it has to be good. Moving right along, or crawling right along. I'm tired. I don't know why I decided to try to stick my head in there. Where are you going? Please stop. I think I'm looking for a napping place. Hey, ow! Come back here. Get back here and paint. After I stop trying to find ways to go to sleep, I'm gonna get started. I'm actually being a little bit dramatic here, okay? Because this part is not gonna be that hard. Also, if you're wondering about my outfit and why it hasn't changed this entire time, even though I've been painting for multiple days. Whenever I do a large-scale painting project, I always wear the same outfit, start to finish. I just like wash them at the end of the day, mostly because I know that I'm almost certainly going to trash whatever I'm wearing. It's pretty much just unavoidable because there's just so much paint going everywhere. Side note, these short sleeve jackets are my new thing. I like them because you get a little more warmth than a t-shirt, but you don't have to deal with the long sleeves while painting. I just have this one and like all the color options, but they're actually really hard to find. I guess these are not in style. But I really like them, okay? So let me know if you ever find a good short sleeve jacket as I awkwardly shuffle by. Hey. You can see that I'm laying down just a solid blue over the whole front of the machine. Another note, this random box in here is just there to hold up the prize door so that I don't get paint all over it. And sorry about the butt shot. I didn't realize that was in your face. Once the first coat completely dried, I went back over everything with a second coat to get a nice opaque color. And then it's time to add the galaxy. And I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a little tired of painting galaxies at this point. It's just very repetitive. I did decide to just keep it as a plain galaxy because one, there are a lot of pieces and panels all over the front of this, and it was kind of tricky to figure out how to fit anything else in this space. Space. But also there are two other customizable areas on the front of the machine. I want to bring a decent amount of detail into those, so I'm thinking I want to keep this part of it slightly more simplistic, and just like that, the front is now complete. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm happy with that. Oh boy, caught in the reflection. I had a little guest with me as I was filming this. I think this is just enough detail to make it interesting, but not enough where it's going to start to detract from my evil plans for the future. To start, I have here the claw machine measurements. First, I'm going to work on this monstrous inside panel. It's 26 inches by 36 inches. That's large. Let's switch out the paper for the iPad. Let me get in here. Face ID. Nope, you don't know me. Let's see, my password. Nope. I don't know my password. Oh, that's right. This very complex code. Here we are, and I'm gonna throw on the same blue galaxy sky color that I've been working with this whole time. Kind of sick of this color at this point. Also, it's a little bit strange how this color is actually very similar to the original color of the claw machine. Just an observation that I observed. And I'm gonna start my sketch. A nice planet. And oh, look, first guest to arrive. It's Dotsy.
Hey girl, you still hanging in there?
Now I need to remind myself where to focus here because a large part of this top panel is going to be blocked by the top of the machine, and a large part of the bottom is going to be covered once all the prizes are inside. So I really want to make sure that the most important parts of my design stay in that visible area. The problem is I didn't actually measure, I'm just eyeballing it. My visual judgment is not always correct, so this is a risk. But I'm taking it. I'm going to go sketching in all the other characters in a very rough outline, and then I'm going to go in with a sketch 2.0. I thought this big inside panel would be the perfect place to bring all 6 characters together, okay? It's like the grand finale, but it's not really a finale because we still have 3 more panels to do, but it's still grand. Now it's time for the final outline and to address something somewhat random and unrelated to what you're seeing on the screen right now. I've certainly gotten. Why does everything sound weird? No. Yes. Okay, I've definitely gotten caught up in the lengthy process of customizing this claw machine. However, let's not lose sight of the eventual goal. It is to make a video, possibly more, of me using the claw machine to select items to paint on. I mentioned in part 1 that I needed to buy all the items to fill this machine. I can't really work with the prizes that came with it, but so many of you were highly shocked and offended that I'm not going to be filling the claw machine with squishies that I already have. I think I might have enough to fill the machine. Yeah, I think I do. And yes, I may throw a couple squishies in there, but the whole appeal for me with winning stuff out of the claw machine was the big variety of items that I could get. If I were to just fill the machine with squishies, it's kind of like just a regular squishy makeover with a very expensive gimmick. So I think I am gonna still buy some prizes and fill the machine with an assortment of different items. I've got the outline complete, so now I need to fill in the background with yet another galaxy galaxy. How many galaxies have I painted? I wanted to keep the look consistent with the art that I've already done on the machine, so the galaxy is necessary, but I'm so tired of painting galaxies. Okay, it's done. It's no problem. It's already over. Next, I'm moving on to the planet. And is it? Could it be? Yes! This is none other than the home of the alien bean bodies, Nafalophagus. Currently, this is the only image that we have of the planet during one of the cold of winters.
It's snowing.
So, okay, I figure, this is obviously a very colorful planet. I mean, the trees look like that. So, I'm just adding a few more colors into it. I have to say my favorite part is the sliver of green just peeking over the edge. Oh! Beautiful! Then for the rings, I started coloring in manually, because that's usually what I do within Procreate, but then I remembered several of you gave me this little trick for coloring. You just drag the color in to fill, which I knew how to do that, but I never used it because I always hated how the color never filled the outline perfectly. Apparently, if you keep holding and just drag left and right, you can actually control that edge to make it fill perfectly. Problem solved!
What is that? Don't do that.
Thank you to the angels who told me about this little tip. It's very helpful. And now we see here Nafalophagus for the first time. Wow. Can I live there? And now on to Tom. I've got Tom here in the foreground, kind of slumped over. He's sitting on a star. That's what that is. And he's tired because, well, in case you don't remember, last week, here's a quick recap. Dotsie took off on a shooting star while Tom was babysitting Zuzu. Dotsie was like, wee! Tom was like, and Zuzu's like, and that was pretty much it. This is the continuation of that story. Tom has called in all the bean bodies he knows to help with the situation. And now Tutu is out here to help. Tom is exhausted, and so Tutu is on Zuzu duty. I still can't with these names. So she's like trying to keep track of Zuzu, actively chasing after him. But as you can see, he has followed Dotsie's example and grabbed on to this baby-sized shooting star. Look, I don't know who's officially in charge of Zuzu, because he's literally loose in the galaxy. Like, where the heck is your parent or guardian? It's okay, Tutu's got this, I think. I'm just gonna add a nice glow around the star. And meanwhile, over here, the label just fell off my camera.
Okay.
Over here, we've got Mika. Mika is stressed. She is one of the more responsible of the group. No shade, Tutu. But if Mika was watching the baby, this would have never happened. So Mika has put the burden upon herself to rescue Dotsie from this perilous situation. And luckily, she's got wings. So she's just soaring, going the speed of light, literally. Dotsie, of course, is still having the time of her life, completely unaware of the stress and chaos that she's causing. I wanted to draw her in a slightly different pose than the original, even though she's still on the star. I don't know, I just wanted a little change. But I'm also kind of sad that the star is covering her antlers, so you can't see them. Also, how in the world she's got a grip on that star, I don't know. Maybe shooting stars are sticky? I'm going through all this trouble to make a glow around the star and keep the black outline, but you'll see later why that's a waste of time. Finally, bringing in the rear, it's Boops. Now, I gave Boops a really hard time. Boops is the worst, and in response, so many of you poured out your love and support for Boops. Even said that Boops is your favorite of the bean bodies. Wow, really? Better than Tom? Better than Dotsie? Better than Zuzu? I have to say, I didn't get it until I did this drawing. This is where Boops is starting to grow on me. I'm starting to fall in love with Boops. Look at him, zooming around. This is my formal apology. I'm sorry I said you were the worst. Anyway, Boops is back here, trying to be helpful, but coming in super late. I mean, he's way back there. Boops is not the hero type. He will try really hard, but he's more likely to just kind of get in the way. Finally, I'm going to just finish up the star that Tom is sitting on, his little booty star. Comfortable there, Tom? You see everyone out here hustling, but no, go ahead, take a seat. After going all the way around that outline again, I realized, didn't I do a white outline for the star in the painting? Yeah, I did. I like that better. Okay, changing all the star outlines to white. Glad I fussed over that for so long. Finally adding some little details, giving a motion blur behind Boops. He's like a jet engine back there. A little shadow here, a little more glow there, and wha-bam. The inside panel is done. I've got all 6 characters crammed crammed in here, plus their home planet Nafalophagus, and I'm very happy with this. Now I need to move on to those top panels. I'm going to start with the one that goes on the front. I want to do just some full body, forward-facing drawings of each of the characters. So I'm bringing in the original sketches. Here we go again! When it's all said and done, I've drawn or painted each of these characters 4 times. Speaking of these characters, a lot of you seemed surprised that I didn't use any of my pre-existing characters for the claw machine design. I mean, hello, this could have been a perfect opportunity for Galacticat to shine, maybe even Mr. Feets, or I could do just like a space version of my other characters, you know, Pickle and Derp in astronaut suits. While I was brainstorming my design, I did think of that, and I almost did it. But then I had the idea to create the alien bean bodies, and I just got so excited. But for now, I've just whipped up another batch of the bean bodies ready to go. First though, I have to do another galaxy. Just one more. I can do this. This is the last and final galaxy background that I have to create, and it was getting physically painful, okay? I did not want to do it, but I did, and it's done. So now I can just bring in all the characters and place them wherever. I thought this was going to be really quick and easy, but of course, no. I tried this, not feeling it, so I moved them all around and added this weird shadow. That's horrible.
No, thank you.
Okay, let's try again. This time I decided to give them a place to stand. So I drew all of them lined up on the edge of Nafalophagus. And yeah, I'm liking this a lot better. Now at this point, I'm gonna be real. I'm so anxious to finally finish this claw machine, and I'm so very tempted to just finish up this panel design and then use the same design for the other 2 panels. But I can't help but remember my words in part 1. It is the same designs repeated on each side, which lacks a little creativity. Clearly I can't do that. This is the front panel complete. They're all here, looking good, shining. Moving on to one of the side panels. I'm taking 3 of the characters, Mika, Tutu, Boops, and placing them in a little trio formation. To make it a little spicy, I'm adding a bright glow around Tutu and some dramatic lighting that matches the different colors of her ears. I don't know why, but it's giving me Star Wars vibes. It's like Darth Tutu, Princess Mika, and Boops Skywalker. I like it. It didn't take me too long at all, yet it does look like a fresh new design, so I'm very satisfied with this. Now for the other side, of course, I'm using the remaining 3 characters, except in this case, Dotsie is upside down, and the dramatic lighting here is going to be a bright yellow glow from the shooting star. After I finished these designs, I sent them off to a print shop. They're probably very confused, like, what on earth is this chick printing? It took a long week before finally the prints are here, and thank goodness they look so good. Good thing, because this video definitely would have been late if I had to wait for a reprint. I also, like a psycho, ordered 2 copies of each design just in case there were any casualties at any point in the process. All that's left is to put these on the machine. You're about to get a lot more colorful, my friend. And starting over here on the side, I literally just put some really strong double-sided tape all over the back of it. Oh no, I've already ruined one of them. Good thing I'm a psycho. Putting up my backup print now. Gotta do it right this time. Yeah, there we go. This was quite nerve-wracking, but I kind of got the hang of it. Originally, I was hoping to somehow remove the old design to get my designs behind the glass. I asked Jordan if he could help, and he said the whole thing would have to be disassembled, and that's where he lost me. We don't need to do that. This'll work. And finally, the beast. This one was so tricky trying to line it up and get it nice and smooth. I definitely put a big crease right in the center of the print. Oh, I can't watch. Ow. But after fiddling around for quite some time, I did get it pretty smooth and even. And here it is in all of its glory. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Ooh. So happy with this. I'm really surprised at how seamlessly the painted sections go with the digitally designed sections. It really does look pretty cohesive. I somehow really spot on guessed the proper placement for the characters on the back panel. Anyway, this has been a long project, and I'm so tired, but so happy to have it finished. Hey, I love it. Only problem is there's another side.
Bleh.
Clearly, I do have to paint the other side. I mean, you can't just paint one side of a squishy. That would be immoral. But I really don't want to do the same design over again. I just painted that. So I ended up taking a photo of this. I threw the image in Photoshop and then started messing around with the colors. Landed on this.
Oh.
And you guessed it, I'm painting the beach like this. It is quite odd, but changing the colors was just enough of a change where I could paint this over without the resentment. Hey, maybe this is what the shores of Nafalophagus look like. You don't know. Here is the final transformation. I think it's a big improvement from what it was. I definitely do prefer the regular beach setting. I'm still a little torn on the shores of Nafalophagus. I'm not really sure, but it's there and it's what I've done. The dessert from Nafalophagus. And I'm thinking it's gotta be a squishy. So I pulled a selection from the collection of various dessert squishies. This one's kind of detailed, but also plain at the same time.
What?
Yes, that does make sense. Don't argue. This one's cute and simple. Another simpleton. This one's got creatures living on it. Okay. This one's catching my interest because there's already something kind of strange about it. Also, this one. I mean, what kind of cupcake is this anyway? It may not be from Nafalophagus, but I don't think I've ever seen one here on Earth that looks like this. What is it? It was between the two of these, but ultimately I ended up going with a cupcake. All right, everyone who's disappointed I didn't go with the cookie sandwich, go ahead, start typing. Come on, type out the comment. We'll wait for you. Okay, you done? Cool. Let's move on. Now, I chose this cupcake not only because it's strange, but also because it has a lot of different layers to it, which to me looks like lots of opportunity to go wild and crazy with color. Plus, for a used squishy, this is in really good condition, which is great because I don't want the focus of this to be too much on the repairs. Whipping out my funky scissors, I'm just going to clean up the seams a little bit. It's a small step, but I really hate when I forget to do this. Then I'm going to do a quick sanding to make sure the squishy is ready for paint. And then, my friend, it's paint time. Starting with a white base coat, I need a nice fresh start here. And once I got that covered, it's time to travel to Nafalophagus. In my sketchbook, I did do a quick sketch.
Little peek.
Okay, that's it. Not too much. I'll be using these colors. Classic Nahfalogian color scheme.
Obviously.
I'm starting with what were the strawberries. Obviously, they're not going to be strawberries anymore. These are Nahfalogian berries. They are the most common and widely loved and appreciated berry on the planet. In fact, they are part of the Nahfalogian anthem. Oh, Nafalophagus with the berries. Okay. I don't know the anthem. Okay, you caught me. These Nahfalogian berries are very special because they develop based on their exposure to sunlight. Not our sun, but the Nahfalogian sun. You should know this. Pay attention. The pink, orange, and yellow berries. They are the sun berries. They're the ones that develop on the top of the bush. Full sun exposure. But then there's the berries that grow in the shade on the underside of the bush. The green, blue, and purple berries. They are the shadow berries. And they're much sweeter.
What the heck is she talking about?
Every once in a while, you come across a Nahfalogian berry that has been perfectly balanced between the sun and the shade, and it reveals the most beautiful rainbow. It'll look much better when I clean it up, I promise. There are a couple sliced Nahfalogian berries on the top of the cupcake, so here you see what the inside looks like, and boy, it's incredible, marvelous. The inside of the berries includes the opposite set of colors to the outside, so they have it within them to develop into any variation of berry. It's just like us. Every person has it inside to be good, and with enough love and support, we can just... Is this too far? Have I gone too far? Yeah, so that's great and all, but this is an absolute mess, so I'm gonna have to go over all of this again many times. The Nahfalogian berries were a true labor of love, man. This was a time-consuming process, which is why I had so much time to think about them and their sun exposure. Eventually, I did finish all of them. Moving to the top, I went with a pink for the top. All the colors that I used for the rest of the cupcake, I pretty much just took from the colors of the berries. I felt like the solid pink was a little too earthy. It's looking suspiciously like this thing we call strawberry cake. So I added a nice orange blend along the bottom just to weird it up a little bit. Why is there orange along the bottom? I don't know. There's no story for that. Okay, it's just like that. I'm not a Nahfalogian expert. Now for the bottom of the cupcake, I'm bringing in the opposite colors, the shadow colors, of course. Now, what all do we know about Nafalophagus? Well, the first record we have, the infamous image. It is the lollipop forest during wintertime. We have met some of the Nahfalogian inhabitants, folks like Tom, Zuzu, Tutu, Mika, Dotsie, Boops. We know that it's a colorful planet. I also did this artwork in Spark of the rare and wonderful Nahfalogian sunset, and Tom, he's there too. So that's about it. That's pretty much all of Nahfalogian history that we know of. Plus now we have this cupcake, so add that to the list. I want to add a topping to this, so I have this slightly purplish blue. I guess it's indigo. I'm gonna add this to the top. This is known as the blue sauce. It's a very popular topping on Nahfalogian desserts made from the shadow berries. Now for the part that I've absolutely been dreading the most. I need to clean up the area around the berries. I am gonna keep it white. I thought about doing something crazy and colorful here, but I decided I think actually having just one plain element might be a good rest here, you know? Plus, I think the bright colors of the berries is really gonna stand out in that white cream. This was truly a pain in the butt because I had to go over everything, not just once, but 2 or 3 times. Lots of little details and crevices. Ugh, I just wanted to throw up. But once I finished, it was worth it. Final touch on the berries. They do have seeds. Bet you didn't know that. And the seeds, as you can see, develop in all different colors. And I think this just took it way over the top. You know, there is now no doubt that these berries are from a different planet. The blue sauce also has some of the seeds in it. Of course, you can strain them out if you wish, but we like the little pop of color here. Before you demand that I play the sprinkle song, no, these are seeds. I decided to add some little white insides to the berries. May have just stolen that from strawberries. And now it's finished. I am kind of obsessed with this. I feel like it came out really cool. It definitely does look somewhat otherworldly. I love the colors. They're so vibrant and fun. And now it's painting time. All right, 2,000 points to anyone who can recognize this color scheme. Anyone want to try? Well, you're wrong. This is the Nahfalogian color scheme minus blue. Nobody knew that except for me. I get 2,000 points to myself.
Thank you.
I'm starting with the purple, which then switched to pink, then travels to orange, onto the yellow, and ends with the green. I left the front and back panels blank because that's where the labels for this product are gonna go. Then I realized, who am I kidding? I'm not gonna design a back label for this, so I'm just gonna bring the color onto the back. What? Sorry. You know what the back labels are for? Ingredient lists, nutritional facts, directions, bogus little informational blogs about the vision of the company. I'm not gonna spend several hours of my life designing any of those things. So if you want to judge me for that, then, well, you are personally invited to come over and do it yourself. And you better do a good job. I'm free this Saturday. I'll see you then. After building up a nice base color, I'm gonna start working the colors together in a real
Gooey, delicious blend.
I mentioned that this was a Nahfalogian color scheme. Let me define that for you real quick, but let me back up. I got my idea for this design from the blue lid. Oh, it's gone. Remember that wonderful blue lid? Of course you do. How could you forget a thing like that? I think it has a lot of great qualities, particularly the blueness, which happens to remind me of blue sauce. If you are an ignorant earthling with no knowledge of Nahfalogian culture, there's so many of those these days. Blue sauce is a very commonly used dessert sauce on Nafalophagus, as you can see on this cupcake, and this is my one and only example because I just made this up last month. Now, once the colors are on, I'm gonna go in with a nice blue. Ooh, that's a good color. This will be the color of the label since it's for blue sauce, but this is a lighter version of the blue sauce. It's just the background color. On top of that, I'm bringing the actual blue of the sauce and painting on some little drippiness to represent sauce. And that's gonna take a couple layers to really build up that color. Now, this is the worst part of the whole thing. I am writing with paint, which is always highly frustrating for me. Why do I feel like I've never used paint before? before. It's not working. This was the only part of this process that I was really dreading. I basically have to design a new product label for this bottle. There's a lot of variety of different label designs, but they pretty much all have these awful little things called letters. That little 2, by the way, is a label that just fell off my camera. He's just waiting to get noticed. I see you. I'll get you in a second. I'm terribly bad at hand lettering, handwriting, whatever you want to call what I'm doing here. Of course, this bottle has to say blue sauce, because that's what it is. It is the pre-made version of blue sauce that you can pick up at your local Nahfalogian market. Of course, everyone prefers the fresh-made sauce from scratch, but, you know, we can't all be that talented. Next, I thought it would be appropriate to paint on some shadow berries, since blue sauce is made, of course, from crushed shadow berries.
Obviously.
I was having some very real and unflattering struggles with the leaves there. I don't know exactly what's happening to them right now. They've become leaves of pudding. I added a nice little puddle of blue sauce under the berries to really reinforce my point here. Then with some paint pens, I went in and sharpened up some of the details here, added the little white inner parts of the berries, which you may notice some similarities between the shadow berry and the strawberry. Yeah, maybe they are a little bit similar. I added my juicy highlights to the sauce and finally topped it off with the colorful seeds of the berries. Added one more catastrophically ugly segment of text. I hate to do it, but this had to be said. Made
From real shadow berries.
Now I'm going to apply a nice coat of Liquitex glossy varnish over top to protect my design from chipping. Finally, I'm bringing back the so wonderful lid that inspired it all. Now that I'm bringing it back, it's too dark of a blue, which is mildly annoying. We're gonna just deal with that, okay? Here is my final bottle design. I mean, it's not perfect, you know, the handwriting really prevents perfection from being in the realm of possibility, but I do think this is a really fun design. I actually wasn't sure how much I liked it until it all came together in the end. What exactly do you do with an empty shampoo bottle painted like a bottle of alien dessert topping? I don't know. It'll be sitting on my shelf in my art room, just, you know, bringing joy. I don't know.
Fantasy location.
Nafalophagus?
Okay, yeah. That is how you spell it, right?
I'm always second guessing.
Someone spell check that. Nafalophagus is my own fantasy planet that I invented. Tom is one of my Nahfalogian characters. I'm gonna design a house for Tom.
Do I have a meeting today?
I think I have a meeting. Okay, not until 2. The pink stripes obviously represent the pink stripes of Tom's body. Then we've got the big green spike on the top of the... Come on, what is going on with this marker? Finally, we have the good old classic Tom cow spots. That makes it look a lot more abnormal. Great. In the background, I want the green Nahfalogian sun. Some nice blue grass. Okay, there's Tom's house. I'd live there. Kind of makes me want to make Nahfalogian houses for the entire bean body collection. But right now, we gotta move on. Create an alien.
Oh.
I just left Nafalophagus. You want me to go back?
And be exhausted from the space travel.
Draw what you imagine an alien looks like. Try to think outside of the box. I don't think I'm gonna cheat and use an alien I've already invented. I need to come up with something on the spot. Maybe I'll just do a 7th alien bean body. This will be the reject alien bean body. Has one eye, a very large mouth. He's a big mouth. The arms, which are very small. Duck fins. I don't like the arms. No. Wings. He's got one bear ear and one cat ear and whiskers. Yeah! And then we're just gonna color him crazy colors. Introducing Zippy, the reject bean body, had an eye and duck feet. He is the 7th bean body that we didn't know about because they don't particularly like him. He's a little bit of a nuisance. Hey! But he's kind of cute. I like him. I set up a Procreate document to be the same dimensions of the page, and I'm jumping right into my sketch. I wanted to design an alien bean body. Yeah, it's not like I haven't done a few of these already, but the way I see it, this page, it's all about having an excuse to make absolutely anything you want. I want to invent an all-new bean body. I'm seeing one that's very babyish and cute, and she's eating a star cone. Oh, we learn about yet another Nahfalogian food. A star cone is like a regular ice cream cone, but the ice cream has been injected with stardust. Sounds dangerous, but it's actually great for a growing bean body's immune system, okay, trust me. I decided on a nice medium purple for her body, a light purple for her tail. Then I added some little pink accents to her, and oh, she's already so cute. I thought that these colors would look nice against the yellow of the star cone, and look at that, I'm already onto the blending. I wanted to bring in some blue to give her a nice kind of alien type glow thing. I feel like she deserves a name, okay? She is such a
Sweet baby.
but she's also an alien. It's got to be something kind of weird. I love the star cream. Full disclosure, I'm probably going to bring it back at some point. I even gave it sprinkles, and I made each of the sprinkles glow. It looks so appetizing. I would love to eat a thing that glows. If you've never tasted star cream before, it tastes kind of like vanilla and marshmallow with a hint of lemon. Now that I'm looking at this bean body, she kind of reminds me of Dotsy with the tail and the dots and the fascination with stars. You know what? Yes, I think this is Dotsy's baby cousin, Lotsie. Lotsie! I did it! Because you know how all cousins have rhyming names with each other. That's definitely a thing. Here is the final artwork.
She's cute.
I did have to print this out, and the colors got a little bit washed out in the process. I need a new printer because the one I have kind of sucks, but this'll work for now. I'm just gonna plop it right into the book, cutting a window out for the instructions, gluing it down, trimming it out, and yay, it's in here. I like that I tried something different by incorporating some digital art into my book, and this was really fun. I just thoroughly enjoyed making little Lotsie and her star cream. First of all, please leave, I don't want you. I'm gonna start this process with my air dry clay, a nice fresh block of it. Cutting into that, here we go. Every time I open a new package of clay, I make some comment about it looking like cream cheese. Handful of cream cheese. Hey, it looks like cream cheese! Grabbing a nice hunk and giving it a good old massage. This is what deep tissue looks like right here. Now,
Donuts.
you can come back. I'm adding this large hunk on top of the donuts, smoothing it out with some water.
Nice and juicy.
Here comes my sketch for this design. Look. Wait, no, don't look. Well, maybe just a peek. Not too much. I don't want to spoil it. Back to big blob. I'm putting quite a large amount of clay on here, which is concerning to me. I'm very worried about how well this is going to stick to the ceramic, but I don't really have an idea of how to force them to stick together, so I'm just going to shove the clay on there and pray for the best. I'm adding some arms to the blob because this is going to be a
New character.
new character alert, new character alert. That's not a thing. It was annoying. This little being is going to look like he's sitting inside of the donuts, just holding himself up. Oh, it's gonna be cute. Now that I got his head or his body, is it a head or body? It's kind of one and the same here. I'm coating him with a nice layer of sweat so I can add things to him. First, I'm creating a little half circle. It looks kind of like a macaroni, and I'm gonna add this to the top of his head to serve as his ear. Smooth it out real nice. Time for the other ear, which you will notice is quite differently shaped. That's because this is his natural ear shape. Both of his ears once looked like this. That is before he took up residence in this stack of donuts. And now, not only does he live inside of a stack of donuts, he is becoming one. I'm gonna create some horns for him. My intention at this point was to make a sort of donut monster. Also, I'm kind of making it up as I go, so that may or may not change. I added some bulging eyes and some fur details, and here he is, ready for a long 24-ish hours of dry time.
Go to sleep, baby. I'll see you soon.
Aha! Here he is, ready for gesso. I'm gonna apply a nice layer of that on this entire piece. From this angle, you get a nice look at his donut eye, which you actually didn't see me sculpt because I forgot to do that thing where I press the record button on my camera. I've only made like 400 videos at this point, so it's totally reasonable for me to make that
that kind of beginner mistake, okay? Yes, he's got one normal eye and one taken over by donuts. I'm adding the gesso to the entire bank portion as well. Multiple layers of that to really get a clean base to paint on. At this point, I'm just amazed and astonished that the clay has actually stuck onto the ceramic so well. What a pleasant surprise. But also, I'm kind of waiting for it to fall off any second, and it's stressing me out. Now, let me tell you, this project is definitely reminding me of our dear Jerry the Cherry. He was also a sculpted character on top of a dessert bank. Why does that matter? I don't know. I'm just making a statement. Leave me alone. Finally, it's fun time. Time to get painty. I'm starting with a nice appetizing cake color over each of the donuts and on the character himself, and that's going to require a couple of layers to build up that color nicely. Now we get to decorate the donuts with colors.
Ooh, rainbow colors.
The top donut, I'm going with a nice pink for the frosting, which may be the most appetizing looking frosting color out there. I know. That's a big statement. The donut frosting color critics are out there. They're gonna come for me, but I'm gonna stand by it. A nice plump donut with pink frosting. Oh, that just looks so good. Someone get me a donut, please. Uh-oh, she's awake. Baby. Okay, excuse me. Am I recording this voiceover while I'm holding my newborn? Yes, she is awake, but she's just chilling, so excuse any little chirping noises. These donuts are the kind that have the little fillings in them. At first, I was kind of disappointed by that because I think I like donuts better without a filling. However, the fillings do present me with a golden opportunity, more like a rainbow opportunity. I can include the entire rainbow of colors going down the donut stack. So the next donut is going to have yellow frosting, followed by green filling. It will continue through to the end of the rainbow, but I do have to do this a little bit out of order here because there's this drizzle. Oh, this freaking drizzle. I had the brilliant idea to paint the drizzle rainbow. Why? Because I hate myself. Not really, okay? I thought a rainbow drizzle would look cute and it wouldn't be that difficult, but I did not expect it to take as much time as it did. But of course, once I've started it, I have to press on. I'm not a quitter, sometimes to a fault, because bro, you should have just quit. Just paint it pink, honestly. But no, I kept going with this freaking drizzle, alternating with that and touching up the other areas of the donut stack. The original indents where the fillings are supposed to be on the donuts, they're actually really crooked. I did try to straighten it up a little bit with my paint job. Oh, and here's where the drizzle gets really fun. Sarcasm. I painted around the drizzle to do the frosting and the donut itself. I tried to be very careful with this process and keep everything neat, but of course I completely butchered it. Not even close. So I have to go over the drizzle again with every subtle little blend between colors. Oh, this was so long. I hope you guys actually like the look of the rainbow drizzle, because then it may be worth it. Me, I like it, I do, but my vision is a little bit clouded with trauma. I look at this drizzle and I mainly just see the pain that I was feeling while creating it. That's just a little bit dramatic. After hours of touch-ups on that, I'm finally able to move on to the character design, starting with some purple frosting on the donut ear.
That's so cute.
And then some blue frosting on the donut eye, and adding in the normal part of his face, very sloppily. Now that I'm looking at it, that blue donut is just too blue. So I started changing it back to green, but then it was looking too green. So I opted to do half and half, which I kind of like. Now, as I'm painting this donut monster, I'm noticing that he really reminds me of someone. No, this is not about Jerry again, okay? Leave him and his butt crack out of this. I mean, I can feel a deep connection between him and another one of my characters. Who are you? I know you. Then it hit me. Oh, Tom. This donut monster is clearly Tom. The cockeyed face, the shape of the ears, the horns. There's no denying it. Tom, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't recognize you. How did you get here? So this is when I realized that the whole time I thought I was sculpting a donut monster. In reality, I was sculpting an alternate version of Tom, the alien bean body. I know I just designed a new alien bean body.
Lotsy, hi.
It is getting to be a lot. I get it. But in all fairness, I did not mean to do this, okay? It just happened. But now that he's here, let's at least figure out what this means. I'm thinking that there's a land on Nafalophagus, my made-up alien planet, and it's called Donutsville. Village. That's one word. Donuts Village. This is where everything is made out of donuts and frosting. The longer you live there, the more you change into a donut form yourself. This is what Tom looks like after living in Donuts Village. I will say those round sprinkles or candy things, I don't know, whatever they're supposed to be, they were very prominently raised. So I kind of had to keep them. I guess I could have used like a thin layer of clay, smoothed it over to try to get rid of them. But of course I didn't really think of that until now. I don't hate them, but I do wish there were fewer of them. There's a lot. Okay, it's looking a little pimply. Oh, and we've moved down to the yellow donut and I'm adding some sprinkles, actual verified sprinkles here. So let's hear it. Thank you, self, for playing that song in editing. Now that all of that's done, it's time to add a nice protective varnish to the entire piece. Give it a good shine as well. And here it is. I love how this came out. It's so bright and fun and cute. You know, I really did like the donut monster originally, but when I realized that it's actually Tom, my beloved friend Tom, it just made me even more excited and connected to this piece, okay? I think it came out so good. I'm extremely happy about it, and I think we might need to visit Donuts Village once again at some point. And the first squishies I've selected to face are the feet. Face the feet. In case you're wondering, why have I avoided the feet squishies? Isn't it obvious? The feet are ugly. Why are the toes so
big and weird?
It's like Bigfoot feet. The only thing I can think to do with them is attach them to another squishy who may or may not need feet. Only problem is, I have an entire group of right feet. So to combat that problem, I'm gonna take two of them and flip one of them upside down to make it look like a left foot. The shape is gonna be so terribly wrong still, especially of the top of the foot. Well, the bottom, which is now the top. So these are the feet. And now to bring in the proud owner of these brand new feet, chubby potato guy. Oh, is this Gudetama? It may be Gudetama. Anyway, I found this squishy and I thought it was the perfect candidate for some feet because, you know, his are a little undersized. Just a little bit. It's okay. Let's add some enormous ugly feet to him. Clearly, this is gonna be
A little weird.
which is okay because do you know who this is? Gudetama? No, this is an alien bean body. Okay. Now I'm bringing in our gracious body part donors.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to your last day on Earth. This one's got a tail that I'm just loving. And this one has got all kinds of things. Some little feet. Oh, kind of looks like an udder. That's gross. So, everyone gather. It's time for sanding. Oh no, don't look. I'm gonna sand my big boy first. Woo! He had a lot of flakage. And I'm gonna get right into the dirty work here, removing these cute little stubby feet and attaching these horrible, hideous ones. Oh, I can't look. What kind of makeover is this? I tried to cut down the top of the left foot so you can't tell that it's actually supposed to be the bottom, but my man's not going to be a foot model. Once I got everything trimmed up and ready for the feet to be nice and nuzzled in their new place, I'm going to remove all the parts from our generous donors. You wanted to do this, right? Oh, and that's going to be perfect. Then the ears from this guy. That's cute. I'll take these little pimple legs too. I'm going to use those as horns on top of the head. Now to make it all official, and we are witnessing the process of creating an alien bean body. So if you ever wanted to design a bean body yourself, start taking notes now. We start with a bean body, then take random attributes like these obnoxious feet or just other miscellaneous body parts from different animals, put it all together, and there you go. Did you get that, everyone? Questions?
Anyone?
No questions.
Put your hand down.
Next, I'm taking some puffy paint and sealing all of the pieces on, making sure that we're not having any weird gaps, that everything is stuck on really nicely. Sudden background color change. Sorry, that was abrupt. I'm disoriented. I can't see. I'm using this weird swirl puffy paint that I bought because I thought it was really cool looking in the packaging, but then I realized I literally never have a use for two colors swirled together, so this has become my repair paint. Next, I'm gonna apply a white base coat over my new creation until I've got a nice solid white. The bottoms of the feet are a little bit rough. You didn't notice that, did you?
Actually, yes.
No, you didn't. I decided to try somewhat of a different color scheme than what I would normally choose. I felt like this was a good opportunity to experiment since I'm already doing something out of my comfort zone, okay? I'm already out, all right? I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about how cute this would look in pastel rainbow. Oh, imagine this in pastel rainbow. Oh, it would have been so much cuter. I added a little fuzzy edge between the colors to make it look like this creature is covered in fuzzy. I knew whatever creature I made with these feet was gonna have to be weird and otherworldly. I mean, these feet just don't belong on our planet. And since I have a rapidly expanding line of alien bean bodies, this just made sense. So those of you who were saying,
Oh, I'm so tired of her making her stupid alien bean bodies.
literally no one has said that. I'm just trying to get ahead of it, okay? I really had no plan for the face of this bean body. I was just kind of making it up, and we know how that goes. I went with this very interesting brown gradient on the eyeballs. That's a choice. And then brought in some more of the brown on the ears, and the horns are going to be blue. Okay. And oh, adding some fur texture around. Very good. I like that. Then completing the face, and oh,
Hi.
he looks like a little woodland creature, you know, a Nahfalogian woodland. I painted the tail to kind of match the eyes because I thought that would be clever. So I'm thinking with those feet, it's got to be Bigfoot himself, but the Nahfalogian version of Bigfoot. So maybe we call it Big Feet. Big Feet. Only thing is, I feel like he's actually not big. He's actually small. I can see him like squirrel-sized, scurrying around the Nahfalogian woods. He's little big feet. Little big feet. And here is the completed design. I mean, am I completely
In love with this?
no. Sorry, no offense, little big feet. That being said, I am pleasantly surprised by what I was able to create out of squishies that I've literally been refusing to use for years. I mean, the feet are clearly ridiculous, but I kind of like this in a strange way. I'm going for this little brown shell. What kind of, it's conch? No, cockle shell? No. Kind of looks like a hermit crab shell. I don't know.
I know nothing. I know nothing.
I'm starting with a white base coat on this and then moving straight into some very vibrant colors. For this one, I had kind of a fun idea. I wanted to make this shell look like it came from the Nahfalogian shores. If you've never been to a Nahfalogian shore, don't feel bad, because Nafalophagus is my made-up alien planet that I like to pretend exists. Occasionally, I create characters, landscapes, or objects that are a part of Nahfalogian culture. So I use some of the same color schemes that I've used for past Nahfalogian stuff. It was turning out kind of cool. I kind of liked it at this point, but you know, it is just blended colors. I mean, it's simple. Too simple, right? So of course I had to keep adding. I wanted it to be more detailed, so I added all of these little dots around. I feel like this is so just typical painted seashell, okay? And it looks very generic to me. And Nafalophagus is not generic, so I thought, let's do more. Okay, I added some random splotches and smudges of color. This one is definitely a big meh. Maybe I need to redeem the idea next year. I just need a good 12 months to think of something better, because this design is kind of boring. It's just not my favorite, okay? But it is a shell and it's painted now, so whatever.
Oh boy, create without thinking. Do something to this page without thinking. Do it quickly. Do not plan. Okay. Oh boy, purple. I see purple, and I'm drawing a circle, coloring it in. More purple circles. You know what these circles need? Sprinkles. Purple circles with sprinkles. So yeah, those are truly hideous. I'm smudging it everywhere. I don't like this. Does that help? I think they are Nahfalogian bonbons. Bonbon. The Nahfalogian bonbon is a purple on purple dessert, and when you bite into it, it's filled with blue sauce. That truly was made without thinking. Started off a little rough, but not gonna lie, I actually kind of like it. So, okay.